My fiancé's friends told her, he's going to change after marriage. They all do, maybe they're right about you. That was the first thing Emily said when she walked into our apartment. No hello, no smile, no kiss, nothing. Just that one cold sentence that felt like someone flicked the lights off inside my chest. I remember freezing halfway through, double-checking the guest list on my laptop. A stupid spreadsheet suddenly feeling like the most fragile thing in the world. Emily stood there in the dim hallway, her purse still hanging from her shoulder. Her face pale like whatever her friends told her at girls' night had crawled under her skin and made a home there. What does that mean? I asked, but she wouldn't even look at me. She just walked past me, sat down stiffly on the edge of the couch like she needed furniture to hold her together. We need to talk, she said, and I swear those words tasted like metal in the air. When you've been with someone for 4 years, you know their tones, happy, annoyed, tired, hungry. This one was new. This one scared me. I turned off the laptop slowly, like closing it gentler might somehow keep the night from falling apart. Okay, I said. Talk about what? She crossed her arms, eyes fixed on the floor. My friends, they brought up some things tonight. About marriage, about you, about how men change after the wedding. I blinked at her. Change how? That's when she finally looked at me, and the worry in her eyes hit harder than the words. They said once the wedding happens, men stop trying, stop showing up the way they did when they were dating. Stop being affectionate, stop caring. They said it's like a switch flips. I laughed softly, not because it was funny, but because it was insane. And you think I'm going to do that? I asked. She hesitated. 1 second, too long. I don't know, she said, voice cracking just a little. They all agreed. Their husbands were great boyfriends, amazing fiancés. But after the wedding, they just stopped. Stopped planning dates, stopped complimenting them, stopped noticing things. They said men only try when they're chasing the relationship. So you think I'm secretly waiting for a marriage certificate to let myself go and turn into some lazy sitcom husband? That's not, she started, then sighed. That's not what I'm saying, okay? I'm saying, what if it happens? What if you do change? You don't know that you won't. I don't know. Nobody knows. Something cold settled in my stomach. This wasn't insecurity. This wasn't jitters. This was doubt poisoning everything we built. I sat with it, staring at her, feeling this weird mixture of anger and heartbreak rising slowly like water in a basement. You know what? I finally said. Maybe they're right. Her head snapped up so fast it was almost funny if it didn't hurt. What? Maybe I will change. Maybe I'll turn into the worst version of every horror story they told you. Who knows? You're supposed to tell me I'm being ridiculous. She snapped. Why would I do that if you already believe I'm going to become someone else once we say our vows? I didn't say I believe it, she said. I said I'm worried. Based on what? I asked quietly. What have I ever done to make you think I'm going to change? She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. The silence said everything. She didn't trust me. Not fully. Not where it mattered. And I don't know if people understand what it feels like when the person you're about to marry looks at you and sees a possibility of failure instead of a partner. It's not just doubt, it's betrayal in the softest possible form. So I'm guilty by association, I said. All men are the same. All husbands are the same. Just waiting for marriage so we can disappoint you. Stop twisting my words. I'm repeating them, I said. She stood up, muttering something about me being unreasonable, and disappeared into the bedroom. I just sat there staring at the guest count on my screen, 200 people expecting to celebrate us. Deposits paid, invitations ordered, every detail planned down to the stupid napkin colors. And the woman I love thought I was one legal document away from turning into a stranger. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just shut down, like someone unplugged something inside me. I called my best friend Mark. Dude, what's wrong? He asked. Emily's friends convinced her I'm going to change after we get married, I said flatly. Like, stop trying, stop caring, That's messed up, he said. What did you say? I told her maybe they're right. Mark exhaled so loudly I could practically feel the judgment. Bro, you're an idiot. But am I wrong? I asked. If she already believes I'm going to disappoint her, what's the point of reassuring her? Because you love her, you moron, he said. And you want to marry her? Not if she's waiting for me to fail. That shut him up. A long pause, then, so what are you going to do? I leaned back, staring at the dark hallway where Emily had disappeared, and a calm, strange clarity washed over me, something almost dangerous in how steady it felt. Something her friends won't see coming, I said. And that was the moment everything started to shift. The next morning, Emily left for work early. No goodbye, no coffee cup on the counter with a little heart drawn in Sharpie like she usually did. Just silence and a closed door. The kind of silence that tells you something's cracked, even if you can't see it yet. I stood in the empty kitchen for a minute, feeling stupid for how cold everything felt. Then I picked up my phone and started making calls. Not angry calls, not dramatic calls, just logistical ones. Calls a calm man makes when he's reevaluating his entire future. The first call was the venue. A huge brick building with an industrial chic vibe that Emily loved. Hi, I said when they answered. I need to understand the cancellation policy for our wedding. Cancel. The woman asked, voice tightening. Is everything all right? Just need the details, I replied. She walked me through the numbers $3,000 lost in deposits. Everything else mostly refundable. It didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. It felt strangely peaceful. Second call caterer. Third photographer. Fifth DJ. By the time I was done, I had every policy in writing. And something inside me had settled. Not in a cruel way. Not in a revengeful way. Just clarity. If Emily didn't trust me now, no ceremony could fix that. So I texted her, FYI, here's the cancellation info for all our vendors. Let me know what you want to do. I attached the emails, one after another. She called within 10 seconds. What the hell is this, Alex? Exactly what it looks like, I said. Cancellation information. I didn't ask you to cancel our wedding. You said you're worried I'm going to change into someone else after we get married. That seems like a pretty big concern. So your solution is to torpedo everything we planned. I rubbed my forehead, pacing the living room. I'm not cancelling anything. I'm giving you options. You're the one who has doubts. I have normal pre-wedding concerns. Every bride does. Normal concerns, I said, are about the weather or the cake falling over. You're worried I'm secretly a fraud waiting to reveal myself. That's not what I said. It's exactly what you said, I replied quietly, because there was no point yelling. You let your friends project their failing marriages onto ours, and you brought that poison home with you. She was quiet for a long time. Then she whispered, I can't believe you're doing this. Doing what? Taking you seriously. Punishing me for being honest. I'm not punishing you, Em. I'm responding to what you said. If you don't trust me, we shouldn't get married. That's reality. She hung up. A text buzzed through a minute later. You're being manipulative and you know it. No, I typed back. I'm being honest. If honesty feels like manipulation, maybe examine why. No response. That night she slept in the guest room. 3 days of silence followed. 3 days of footsteps that avoided each other. 3 days of her leaving at dawn and coming home after I was asleep. 3 days of a house that felt like a hotel lobby. Fine. I used the time to research more contract terms. Not because I wanted to cancel, but because I needed to know if she wanted to. But on day 3, her mum called. I almost didn't answer, but politeness won. Alex, she said, what on earth is happening? Emily says you're cancelling the wedding. Not cancelling, I said. Reconsidering? Over what? So I explained her friends, the panic they caused, the lack of trust. Her mum was silent for a long stretch, and then she said something that surprised me. So? She says she's worried you'll change, and you're proving her right by changing before the wedding even happens. I'm not changing, I said. I'm responding to a lack of trust. Sounds like semantics. I sighed. Think what you want. But I'm not entering a marriage where I have to constantly prove I'm not someone else. That sounds exhausting, she murmured. Exactly, I said. So I just want her to trust me. And I want her friends to stop interfering. Her friends have been married longer than you've been together, she said gently. They have experience. They have bad experiences, I corrected. And they're projecting. Instead of fixing their own marriages, they're trying to sabotage ours. Another long silence. You're both being stubborn, she finally said. Maybe, but I'm not the one coming home accusing my partner of becoming a stranger. She exhaled, tired. I'll talk to her. She hung up. Later that night, Emily texted, "Can we talk?" I responded, "Sure." She came out of the guest room and sat opposite me, knees bouncing nervously. I talked to my therapist, she said quietly. Okay, she said. You have a point about trust. That going into marriage expecting you to fail isn't fair. Your therapist is smart, I said. Emily glared at me for a second, but kept going. But she also said, you're being extreme. That we should talk this out without threatening the wedding. I'm not threatening anything. I just got the information in case you wanted it. That's the same thing. Then so is you expressing doubts, I said. Would you rather I ignore them? She rubbed her face. I just wanted reassurance. Reassurance. I said, I've reassured you for 4 years, and you still doubt me. Tears pooled in her eyes. I hate this. I hate that I let them get in my head. I hate that you won't just fight for us. I am fighting for us, I said softly, by not letting us enter a marriage built on fear. She didn't answer. She just stared at me with this heartbreaking look, the look of someone who finally realized they started something they didn't know how to stop. That night she went back to the guest room. I heard her crying through the wall. I tried to ignore it, but it echoed in my chest long after the sound faded. Emily eventually stopped crying, though her breathing was still shaky and uneven, like each inhale cost her something. She wiped her face with her sleeves and stared at the floor, not at me, not at the papers. Just down. Like she was afraid to look anywhere else because everything around her was falling apart. I don't want to lose you, Alex, she whispered, her voice small, the kind of small that comes from being broken open. But I don't know how to fix this. I exhaled slowly, carefully. You don't have to fix everything, I said. But you do have to choose something. Choose. What? Choose who you trust. Choose who gets to influence your life. Choose whether you want this marriage for real or you just want the idea of it. She swallowed hard. Do you still want to marry me? The question hit deeper than I expected. I want to marry someone who stands with me, not someone who folds when her friends snap their fingers. She flinched. I didn't enjoy that, but I wasn't going to soften it. Not anymore. I'm not folding, she said, shaking her head. I'm just scared. We're all scared, I said. But fear isn't a compass. You don't navigate a marriage by other people's trauma. She looked up at me, finally red eyes. Messy hair, face streaked with tears, vulnerable, honest, for the first time in days. I felt like I was seeing her again, not the echo of her friends' voices. I don't want them running my life, she whispered. I didn't realize how much I let their voices replace mine. I know, I said softly, but you have to show it. Not to me. To yourself. She nodded weakly, like she was agreeing with something that scared her more than losing the wedding. Then she took a deep breath and asked the one question I'd been waiting to hear. What do you need from me, Alex? Right now, honestly, I didn't raise my voice. I didn't move closer. I just answered plainly. I need you to choose us without looking over your shoulder to see what they think. A tear slid down her cheek again, but this time it wasn't fear. It was relief. Okay, she whispered. Then I will. I choose you. Words are easy, I said gently. Actions aren't. Then I'll act, she said. I'll talk to them. Set boundaries. Need a chance to prove it. I studied her face, the sincerity, the exhaustion, the rawness. For the first time in a week, she looked like someone who knew exactly what she wanted. And for the first time in a week, I let myself breathe. "All right," I said, "then show me." She nodded and stood up slowly, wiping her face again. She wasn't steady, not fully, but she was determined. And for now, that was enough. I didn't hug her. I didn't comfort her. Not yet. This wasn't the moment for that. This was the moment where she had to walk alone, just a little, to prove she could. She stepped toward the hallway, then paused. "Alex, yeah. Are we okay?" I let the truth sit in my chest before answering. "We're not okay," I said. "But we can get there. If you follow through." Her eyes softened, not disappointment, not fear, acceptance, maybe even resolve. "Okay," she whispered. Then she walked to the bedroom note, the guest room, and closed the door behind her. And for the first time in days, the apartment didn't feel like two separate worlds under one roof. It felt like a beginning. A hard one. A painful one. But a beginning nonetheless. I didn't know where things were going next. I didn't know what she'd say to her friends. I didn't know if she'd managed to set the boundaries she'd always struggled with. But for the first time since that night, she came home from girls' night with panic in her eyes. I felt like we had a real shot at moving forward. Not because I fought for us. Not because I convinced her. But because she finally understood that trust isn't something you outsource to other people. And marriage isn't built on fear, it's built on choosing each other, especially when others are choosing against you. Emily had finally decided to choose. Now, it was her turn to prove it.